Well, you may wonder why we called you here. We're here to celebrate a miracle in our lives that started 30 years ago and that gets stronger every day. And several of you have asked how we met and fell in love. And so I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest condensed version. If you want more detail, you can join us at the wine place in Nahas. Okay. All right. The short version is that we had both been married and divorced in traditional marriages. That is, you know, those mixed gender marriages. When we started working together in the Santa Cruz County Office of Education in the special ed department, we worked on an acupressure project together, and that's a whole other story, which is how we came to Lincoln County. The school district hired me to teach acupressure workshops for the staff, and but that's getting ahead of ourselves. We worked on that acupressure project together, but we didn't have any social or personal connection, just working on the project, until my 39th birthday, and I had a party, and I invited Kay.
Of course she.
Of course I
always calling for parties.
And she came, and at that party, she met the guy that I had started dating that week. And unbeknownst to me, he liked her too. And Moses, which was his name, turns out he was dating both of us and one of her other friends. He was a very busy boy, and he loved women. And we have to agree that he had great taste in them. However, when we discovered, we also, when we discovered that we were both dating him, not to mention Lynn, we, being women who were working in the same department, had to have some personal and heart-to-heart kinds of conversations with each other about this situation. And in doing so, we became very close friends and discovered how much we had in common. And we went from Santa Cruz to Mount Shasta for a weekend in a magical place, and there are some photos of that magical place on the board, where we realized that we wanted to be together forever. We were slow learners, needless to say. After being married for 18 and 13 years, and then dating men after that, we kept hoping that there would be chemistry somewhere. But what we didn't know is that there would be electricity. And that's what we found at Mount Shasta, was this incredible, truly electrical, energetic connection that just keeps getting more so. It's amazing. Anyway.
It was shocking.
Yes, we were very unprepared.
Now what do you do with this?
And she kept thinking, how can I tell her? And of course I was thinking the same. Anyway, we told. And later. And after 8 years in Santa Cruz, we fell in love with the Oregon coast after I had done a workshop up here and got to know the place. We came back that summer and fell in love with the Oregon coast and bought a house and moved here. And both of us were working for the school district. Well, we were totally unprepared for the difference between Bay Area and rural Oregon coast 22 years ago. Things have improved a great deal. And I mean, you cannot believe how naive we were. We thought, you know, every place was like the Bay Area. And we were shocked. And we moved to Walport, and the first couple of weeks we visited a couple churches, and were met with absolute stony silence, would be the kindest way to talk about it. And then we came here, and this church and this church community welcomed us. When we walked in the door and saw the 6-foot-tall woman priest in Birkenstocks and the 6-foot-tall brown woman deacon in her bare feet, we knew we were home. And we fell in love with the little old ladies at St. Luke's, and now we are them. So, and then I want to tell you about our actual marriage. We actually got married in 2004. For a brief space of time, Multnomah County decided that everyone all adult citizens who wanted to should be able to get married. So we did. And Rita and Diane, our dear friends, were with us for that wedding. And we have a little wedding book on the table here. It's a very tiny wedding album because the wedding, or the state sanction was short-lived. Yeah. The marriage continues. And that was a very powerful experience, I have to tell you. And I hope you can just even begin to imagine what it would be like to have your marriage canceled.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how can they do that? We have a marriage certificate. We have an album. We have photos. We have gifts. And they canceled it. But hope springs eternal. Enough words. Kay is the visual half of our partnership. And she put together some display boards, and she'll use a few words to tell you about those.
A friend of ours, Kim Taylor, made this map journey for us, and this is my side, and when I was born at Lake of the Woods, and Jeannie's side, born in Colorado. My family were fishermen, heritage, and Jeannie's family were cattle ranchers. And then it goes through our life, and one of the moments in life was Becky was always, my sister Becky, she was always trying to follow me. She's 4 years younger, and I'm on my bike, and so I decided, well, I don't want her to get hurt or anything, so I'll just tie her to the tree. So I did. And then, you know, like in high school, every day in the summer I went play tennis, rode my bike to La Palma Park, and then it goes through college, and I don't know, it just gives the map of you know, some of the high points in our lives, and until I met Jeannie and she met me, and anyway, like Jeannie said, I don't have a lot of words. I'm a shy person. I'm much better one-to-one. But anyway, I put together all our trips that we've taken, you know, major. I mean, we did yearly trips to Anaheim and New Mexico, but these are some of the major things. And Jeannie's son and his marriage in Scotland we went to, and all our furry family, dog family, all our dogs, and a lot of the pictures were, one of them here is us in our cowboy hats at Bandolera, New Mexico, and one of my favorite is in our hot tub in Santa Cruz. It was outside. We had a little redwood grove just outside the front door. And we had this slab put down, so that when we had our hot tub, we put that on the slab. But it was raining in the wintertime. So anyway, we decided instead of getting our hair wet, we'd just get slicker hats. You go outside with our slicker hat and sit in the tub. And then here's another photo album that I put together, and Becky and Jeannie's sister Barb contributed that to our 60th birthday party. So one of my favorite ones is here I am, probably 4 years old with hip boots on, and I'm seining for minnows in Minnesota at the lake. Some of the images, I don't know, you probably have historical, in your family too, but the lake is, it's really important to me. And Jeannie's side is.
But I just talk about you and the ladder and your.
Oh, my dad is a carpenter, and I was always following him around and picking up pieces, his scrap wood, and hauling it and making houses and all that kind of thing. And I brought you also flowers from my garden, these and those, and then the purple ones on the table. I'd rather be in the background being a photographer. These are all my cards, or a lot of my cards, that we sell here at church. And
prints.
And prints with little.
You made those?
Yeah. Jeannie and I did the photography, and Jeannie and I put these cards together. Jeannie does it with computer, and
Thank you.
I don't know, I guess that's it.
You did good. So Becky agreed to be the MC today, and I'm going to pass the microphone over to her, and she can pin it on and kind of be close.
Okay. Well, gee, in spite of being wrapped around a tree, or tied to a tree, I forgave her years ago. But I did hear something new. Today is the first time I realized or knew that you did it for my safety. That just sounds so much more humane. So much more humane. Anyway, yeah, Kay and I, this is about Kay and Jeannie, but I tell you, Kay and I were very different growing up. And I always looked at her, well, she was so brilliant. I mean, she got straight A's in school. I mean, she just was. In 7th grade, or no, when she was graduating from junior high, she was next down from like valedictorian or whatever. Very bright,
That's
Right,
enough.
student. Well, and Jeannie's no dummy. So, I'm sure just academically and brain-wise they share a lot, but they share a lot spiritually too, which is really cool. And as we all know, we're here celebrating, and I wrote some things down here because I didn't want to go on and on. I wanted to condense it. So I might read this a little quicker than, that'll be my way of condensing it.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty fast. Anyway, in the Revised Standard Version of the Bible, in 1 Corinthians 13:14, it says, "Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things." In all of the things that Kay and Jeanne have done together, they have shown love, not only to one another, but those around them. Out of their love for one another, they have created a team relationship of working together to make a dynamic difference in this world. They have lovingly impacted their families, friends, and community to make a difference in their lives. Kay and Jeannie's relationship has endured and grown through many events. Mudslides in Felton, California, where they lived together for the first time, earthquakes, career changes, several home relocations, world travels, family celebrations and losses, gatherings with friends, and developing PFLAG activities for their community, and, of course, their personal spiritual journey. Whatever they have been through, they have done together with care, showing support, respect, and dignity for each other. I'm very proud of them of what they have been able to accomplish together, which has been possible because of their love for each other and God. In one of my last conversations with my mother before she died, she shared how she felt Jeannie was the best thing that ever happened to Kay. Kay and Jeannie have been blessed to share 30 years of happiness together, and we all have been blessed to be part of their lives. One of the many cards they received in honor of their anniversary said, "Anniversary blessings to two special lovebirds. When God chose you for each other, He knew your love would be sweeter still with each new day and anniversary." Dear Kay and Jeannie, may your love continue to grow in many more years of happiness with love. Your sister Becky. All right. Well, there is something here from Jeannie's son and his wife, Mary. And they wrote, "We have known them both for a very long time." They sent a special card with this message. And it said, "Your anniversary is a celebration of the day you promised to give each other a lifetime of joy. It's a celebration of a marriage built on friendship and respect, a partnership made of patience and understanding. How wonderful it is to congratulate you on 30 years together and to wish you a future full of happiness. We are so happy for both of you. You bring life and hope to all. Love, Jeanne, Jeanne, and Mary." And then from one of Kay's college roommates that I've known since I was 13, she wrote, "Couldn't be here today, but congratulations, you two are one of the happiest couples I know. I so admire your conscious choices and hard work to make the world a better place. Wishing you a wonderful celebration. Love to you both, Gail. And Gail also wrote, I wanted to share how much I have enjoyed Kay and Jeannie's wisdom and their willingness to share it. From gardening to acupressure, photography, writing, the Enneagram, their travels, and the wonderful work they are doing with Peace Flag and the Peace Village. She goes on to talk about her many experiences with them, casual times together, relaxed times together, and she says, you're one of the happiest couples she knows. Oh, okay. And thank you so much for your friendship. Okay, next. No?
No.
No? Okay.
Do Anna Lynn.
Anna Lynn. Okay.
My former daughter-in-law.
Okay, former daughter-in-law. Okay, right. Wishing you a happy anniversary since I knew Jeannie from way back. I can attest to how much happier she was when Kay came into her life. You have supported each other's dreams, have both grown and helped each other grow spiritually, and reached out to help others in the community and the world. Truly an example of a love-based, positive, and healthy relationship. May you enjoy your golden years together with more adventures.
Yes.
Love and
This is the Episcopal Church, but don't be put off by the title. The Kama Sutra of Kindness, position number 3. It is easy to love through a cold spring when the poles of the willows turn green. Pollen falls like a yellow curtain and the scent of paper whites clog the air. But to love for a lifetime takes talent. You have to mix yourself with the strange beauty of someone else. Wake each morning for 72,000 mornings in a row, so breathed and bound and tangled that you can hardly sort out your arms and legs. You have to find forgiveness in everything, even ink stains and broken cups. You have to be willing to move through life together the way the long grasses move in a field when you careen blindly toward the other side. There's never going to be anything straight. There's never going to be anything straight or predictable about your path, except the flattening and the springing back. You just go on walking for years, hand in hand, waist deep in the weeds, bent slightly forward like 2 question marks, and all the while it burns, my dear. It burns beautifully above you and goes on burning like a relentless sun. That poem reminded me of Jeannie and Kay. And the first time I saw them, I thought, oh, wonderful, I bet they're a couple, but I'm not going to say anything. Because you could tell that their love burned and kept on burning and burns more brightly still. So, happy anniversary. Thank you.
This is a 30th anniversary celebration, and I'm only 32. And I also grew up in this small little town that they came to and were wide open to all that we had to offer, and we weren't exactly receptive to them. And I don't say we because I had no idea. And that's where I'm going with this. They came into our church family. I'm going to cry because that's what I do. And I had no idea that women could be with women and men could be with men. I had no idea, and in my little childhood memory, I remember asking my mom one day, so aren't they married to other people, like men? And why do they live together? And my mom just said to me, well, because they're friends. And that didn't make sense to my little head, because I knew there was something else there. Couldn't put my finger on it. And they never came out. They never did the big party. They didn't wear rainbows. They didn't, it wasn't ever a big deal. And I went into my young adulthood and into my adulthood going, you know what? There's something there, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing. And I came to realize in my own marriage and with my own family, that's love. And it doesn't have to be big and flashy, and we don't have to post it all over the world. We just know that it's love. And we don't have to make a big show of it. We don't have to say that this is who I belong to, because if we love someone enough, the whole world knows. And when you said that your marriage was canceled, it broke my heart. But we know that there's nothing, no law, that's ever going to break you apart. And it's never going to cancel you. So thank you for being one of my prime examples of love in my life.
Okay, does this go on?
Yeah.
Okay, are there any others that have something to say? I guess my husband is pointing to himself.
They wouldn't read what I wrote because I didn't write anything. But I wrote a few notes here a little earlier. And the first one I have is kind of bullets. It says, relatives and friends. You know, there's a difference between the two usually. And, you can't really shy away from your relatives because, you're stuck with them. And your friends, you can be friends or you could not be their friend. So these, first Kay and then Jeanne came into my life as a relative. And boy, it didn't take too long for them to turn into really good friends. And I was a little concerned. They moved up a little closer to Tacoma. But again, that was a blessing for us and for you. But you guys have been just wonderful, wonderful friends. And I have another note here about bed and breakfast. I go to a bed and breakfast a couple times a year, and I've never really been to any other bed and breakfast to compare it to, but these two treat me like, and Rebecca, like a king and queen. They clean my fish. And cook for me. But then I have another note down here just as kind of a PS. I'm from Ohio, kind of corn-fed, meat and potatoes guy, These two brought other things to my life, kind of like nutrition, organic food. I'm working on it, but I'm slow to change in some ways. The other note here I have is I don't think I've ever seen them embarrassed, and I've never seen them mad. And but I think I can work on the embarrassment part. So I got an organ here. I think I can play the organ. Kay said she would sing. And Jeanne was going to get up here and tap dance. So is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, because I can't play, so...
You're supposed to tell the truth in church.
Okay, let's see. Do I have any other notes here? No. So, but again, I think what you said was just beautiful. About you know that they're in love. You know that they care for each other. You just feel that, and that brought tears to me. You didn't well. I was back here balling. You know? So these are two wonderful, wonderful friends that I have that I just enjoy spending time with. And, don't have to get up. You got air skating.
My name's Michelle, and I work with the Gay Straight Alliance at the job corps here. And you guys have made a huge difference in the community, just in Lincoln County and with the kids that I work with. You can't measure how many lives you've saved, but I know there are many, many that you've impacted and probably saved. And I want to thank you for that and giving everybody hope that things are getting better and they're just going to get even better. Thank you for being there for everybody.
And thank you for being there for those kids every day.
Well, I just want to say we made it. We came 3,000 miles.
Yeah, a while. So
Yeah, we organized our lives to be here at least at 3:30, and we made it from Eastern Canada. So. Greetings to you. We wouldn't have missed it, and we wanted to be here to support you. And my personal word is I have a dear, dear cousin who is just the sweetest, most gorgeous Norwegian woman you'd ever want to see. And she has a partner now of about 25 years, and we often talk to her about you. And it's great to have models for people who have discovered that all that really matters is love and loyalty and being together. So thank you.
thank you. Melissa.
I'm very shy, and I found out about this event yesterday from Brian, and I sense this is really an important event for me personally. And I just want to thank you for doing this here in this place, because you are really culture changers. You are really evolving our culture. Thank you for that very much. And hearing people speak, especially Mariah, it's really, I feel like it's wonderful. You are really contributing so much to the global community by doing this. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody?
I second what Melissa said.
Well, Brian has prepared a toast.
Thank you.
And he's famous for his eulogies. And I told him that it wasn't time for that we would prefer a toast.
The arrangement, Jeanne, is that you do mine, not that I do yours. Well, actually, about 1:45, I prepared a speech of uncommon eloquence, and I left a dry eye in the house when I pressed the wrong button on my computer. That great receptacle in the sky, which seems to the black hole, I guess. So therefore, I'm going to try and remember approximately what I wanted to say. First of all, when you asked me to do this, I was really intrigued by the photograph of the two of you, which I think there's plenty of them around. And I realized that if I was, say, struck with laryngitis or I'd lost my speech, all I would really have to do to define your characters would be to ask people to look at the photograph. Because the truth is this, if I may remind you of the vulgar thing I said, that the two of you look quite hot. I think you already indicated you'd forgive me if I said that. But the fact is this, that what you are speaks volumes right there. There is a joy and a happiness. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Teilhard de Chardin, who said that we think mistakenly that we are that we're sort of humans on a spiritual journey, when the reality is that we are spirits on a human journey. And I think two spirits on a human journey is the best description I could think of this, because your kindly, beautiful, and useful lives is transparently obvious. I've always, since I had a very brave and energetic mother, I've always had an attraction towards a strong and beautiful woman. And I think what appeals to me so much about you is that if there's some kid with their back to the wall in some classroom who's being mocked, who is being abused, who is being bullied, you will clank on your armour and go off with a pair of rather dubious ankles, and you will run to their defence. And that is admirable. There's been very good poetry already. I had to, normally the go-to pieces about love are the ones that you read, and the one that I'm about to try and remember. It's the 116th sonnet by William Shakespeare. It begins with the incredible phrase that I think is incredibly relevant, which is, "Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediment." Now, for somebody who's had their marriage revoked, I think that is a profoundly relevant and indeed agreeably specific or literal interpretation. You know, do not put impediments in the way of the marriage of people whose minds are truly made up to be together.
Here, here.
Amen.
Now, the poem goes like this. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediment. Love is not love that alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the mover to remove. It's an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star of every wandering bark, whose height unknown, but whose worth taken. Love is not time's fool. Though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass comes, but love alters not with his brief hours or weeks, but bears it out to the very edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I have not writ, and no man or woman of this name ever loved.
Hard one to follow.
I don't know if what escaped from your printer could have been any more eloquent. Thank you, thank you. There are not many love songs written for women couples or about them. Although I have to tell those of you who will recognize the name that we are going to a Chris Williamson concert at the Beach conference in Montana in September, and we have never seen her. She is a well-known women's singer, and we're really looking forward to that. But we fell in love with a song that we heard for the first time at the P-Flag Love is Love Valentine's party. And it's called Hattie and Maddie.
The song was written by Eric Schwartz and it's performed by Holly Neer, who is one of my heroes. Which one of you wants to be Hattie?
You be Hattie and I'll be Maddie.
Picture of Jesus
we cut the cake. We want you, these little slips of paper on your table are the guest book. So if you will write a brief message and sign your names, we will put the guest book together later. But we would love to have a little message and your names to remember this wonderful day. This has just been incredible. So much love. And so special to have so many friends of the heart all in one place to celebrate love. And we hope you will take bunches of it home with you. And so we will cut the cake, and you help yourselves some more refreshments. And thank you so much to the wonderful church ladies at St. Luke's.